Why eggs are much more important than sperms or the uterus. We all know that you require eggs and a sperm in order to make a baby, and that this embryo needs to implant in the uterus. So logically, we would say, okay, this is the Holy Trinity, and all of them would be equally important for getting pregnant, which means logically, when a patient is not getting pregnant, which is an infertile couple, all three would be equally important. But interestingly, especially for IVF, the egg is far more important than either the sperm or the uterus. Now, this may seem non intuitive, but let me explain. We know, for example, that when you put an embryo in the uterus is relatively passive. It's the embryo which is active, it's the embryo which does all the work in order to implant. This is not something we knew about 50 years ago, but we know that for sure. And this is why pregnancy rates in older women who are trying to use their own eggs is so much worse as compared to their using donor eggs, where the pregnancy rate jumps dramatically, even though they're using the same uterus and the same sperms. Similarly, sperms are important, we're not disputing that, but thanks to ICSI technology, we can pretty much bypass what the sperms are unable to do in the bedroom, which means no matter how bad the sperm count and the motility, we can still get the sperms to fertilize the eggs. And this is why the eggs are so important, because even if we manage to fertilize the egg in the lab, if the egg quality is not very good, for example, if the egg is not functionally competent, if the egg cytoplasm doesn't contain enough mitochondria to be able to drive embryo cleavage, that egg is not going to be able to convert itself into a functional embryo which is able to implant. So that while everything is equally important, remember that when it's IVF, the rate limiting factor is the quality of the egg, not so much the sperm, because we can perform the sperm's job in the laboratory, and not so much the uterus, because that's relatively passive. That's why eggs rule. Have any questions? Feel free to ask me. I'm Dr. Malpani. I'm an IVF specialist, and I'll be happy to answer your questions free of charge. Our website is www.drmalpani.com. See you there, and we look forward to helping you to have a baby.